We don't have time for errors. Come on here. Oh, I rebuke all the Monday morning briefs. All of it. All of it. Come on, connect up. Oh, it says we're live, but I don't think we're connected up. Look, I'm glad I wasn't talking about no pre-show discussion because I didn't realize we was live. Okay, I just needed to connect up over here on my other monitor so I can grab that link, grab it, and put it in our group so that our community can conveniently join us live on YouTube in the live chat. If you are a solopreneur or entrepreneur that is struggling to get to your first six figures in business, you need to be in our group. Oh, thank you. Look at God. We got this little link. We're going to drop it in the group. Wow. Okay. Struggling to get to your first six figures, you need to be in our group. The link to get in our group, it's free, by the way, is shaycannon.info/group. We have three pillars of value that we tribe up around in that group. And that is number one, we actually come together and commune. We have events where we can come together live and build community. Number two, we collaborate to make each other's businesses better and to make money together. And last but not least, number three, we have conversations that is transformational for your business growth, which is probably going to fill that gap of where you are and where you want to be. Okay. One of those conversations we just had on Thursday when we had our fuck up night, it was amazing. So you need to join the group, shaycannon.info/group. All right. So let's get started. Can I see the chat? Yeah, now I can see the chat. Okay. Welcome. Good morning. It's Unlock Your First Six Figures Morning Show. I am your host, Shay Cannon. What we do around here is we have these transformational conversations for your business growth around a blog. And this week's blog is at shaycannon.com/manage risk. Oh, I'm about to put the wrong link over here in the chat. Let me go get this blog link. Throw it over here. Boom. There you go. So now YouTube, you have the link. In Studio has the link. Risk management, y'all. Let's talk about it. Because you know what? I think I want to start off with something. Okay. I'm going to give you the introduction to this blog. But before we get into part one, that is today, ladies, get ready. I want to ask you, what is your definition of risk? What is your definition of risk? Get ready to tell me. I'm going to start with Dr. Toya. She's on the bottom of my screen, and I'm going to come up. So get ready with your definition of risk as a solopreneur in your business, okay? So small business owners, especially solopreneurs, don't really use words like operations to describe their business, right? That's usually a corporate word. Likewise, solopreneurs don't use words or even think about risk management. Okay, risk management, entrepreneurship in and of itself, as well as obstacles on your journey. That is the wrong kind of wording for this paragraph, but that's what I get for Russian. Anyway, so entrepreneurship in and of itself can be a risk, right? Let alone the obstacles that you go through on the journey of your entrepreneurship. There can be risk. However, like entrepreneurship itself, there can rarely be a reward without risk, okay? So risk reward, right? So let's talk about risk or no risk, because the first thing we need to do is we need to understand, is it a risk or is it not a risk, all right? So simply defined as actions or decisions. Okay, because some of y'all don't understand that the decisions that you're making is an action. It's a mental action, but it has actions that come after it, right? So simply defined as actions or decisions that may have a negative impact, A risk is not always a risk, okay? For solopreneurs, what seems like a risk can be a fear instead. Okay. Mindset plays a huge part in business success for solopreneurs in particular, because us, we do business and we make decisions in a vacuum, right? So as a solopreneur, usually that means it's just you. And a lot of you don't take advantage of community, shaycannon.info/group. Okay. So you're over there by yourself making decisions. You don't have access to information from people who have gone through what you've gone through, all of these things. So how you're evaluating risk is different. Some of it is fear and not true risk. Okay. So since entrepreneurs often work independently, their definition of risk is shaped by their unique circumstances, responsibilities, and tolerance for potential loss. It's understandable as you tend to have fewer resources and more to lose, right? But I want to know, what is your definition of risk? And we're going to start with Dr. Toya. What is your definition of risk in this entrepreneurship journey for you in particular, Dr. Toya?
I know you told me you're going to start with me. I was talking to the kids. Swing back around, please.
Oh, you want me to come back around to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, no problem. Debbie, what is your definition of risk as a solopreneur?
Okay. My definition of risk is not having the foundation, a strong foundation to handle the work when it comes in. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm
got it.
putting all this energy out to get the work, so it's being able to handle all the work when it comes in.
Okay, and I got a surprise for y'all, because see, I'm going to stop y'all from taking other people's answers this week. So since she has said that, nobody else can give that. So what's Kimberly, put yours in the group chat, in the studio chat. Dr. LaFera, what is your idea of risk as a solopreneur?
What Debbie said, minus okay, so like my definition of a risk is something that can lead to an outcome that is not optimal, that could affect the viability
Give me an
of
example.
my business.
I don't want you to give me the general definition. I gave that. I want you to give me an example of what's a risk for you as a solopreneur.
Okay. Lack of visibility and consistency and systems.
Okay. You went kind of deep with that one. All right. Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media. What is an example of risk in your business as a solopreneur?
Actually, I'm in the vein where Dr. LaFera was headed, because for me, is risk. Hey, money is where the money is going. So I immediately think about those risks, of course, when you think about the definition itself, but then it's like the risk of where to put the money, how to put the money, how to use the money, because we know before we hire people, we hire tech. So those are the things that I think about immediately.
Okay. Keith, we got a man in the house, y'all. We got some testosterone. Keith, what is a definition or identify a risk as a solopreneur as you experience it in your business?
Financial risk.
Say that again, Keith.
Financial risk.
I don't even know. I don't know what that was.
He said what I said, but he shortened it. Financial risk.
Financial risk. Okay. Thank you, Keith. Thank you. That was a good one. I'm surprised nobody said that one outright. Appreciate you, Keith.
I did. I said the money. I sang the song. Money.
You
also
money, started right? With team. So we're gonna give Keith money since you said team first. Cut it out.
I said, because listen, seriously.
You should want to.
No, because I said we already know that that's the thing you consider. However, at the end of the day, even considering those things, it still take the money. That's why I came in with the money song and money shooting out the money machine.
In the media, y'all. All right, Teray. Give me an example of something that is a risk as a solopreneur as you do business.
I'm overwhelmed with the risk. I think for me, it's what you said that risk wasn't, and it's fear. You know what I mean? So for me, risk, I think that's my definition of risk. It's fear. If I'm going to be transparent. So my thing is, whenever I look at the obstacles and trying to determine the outcome of the obstacles and looking at the worst case scenario and making sure I am I'm trying to do the thing to avoid the worst case scenarios.
Okay.
That
Gotcha.
for me, that's the biggest. I'm trying to avoid. I'm always like, trying to be 3 steps ahead of the worst case scenarios.
Gotcha.
That's just in life anyway, you know.
Look, Glow over here on YouTube live chat, and she said, I agree with Teray. Fear is a risk for me as well. Okay. So you're not by yourself, Teray. I don't know if Dr. Tachi is back. I'll come back to Dr. Tachi after Heather.
She said she was back.
Oh yeah, she said she's back.
She said, okay. Well, Dr. Tachi?
Oh no, you don't, Heather. You just don't want to answer.
I'm just trying to help the host facilitate the show. That's
Heatherina, you are not slick.
All right, Dr.
But I can
Tachi, since you're
answer.
back.
Okay. Sorry. Churn. So let me explain. Yeah. So
Okay.
let me explain I know you know, and maybe you all already know. So the concept of churn is when you have a network, and even though this is more so with subscriptions, and people sign up during a free trial or whatever, and then they do the trial and then they unsubscribe. So basically it's that process of subscribe and unsubscribe. So even though mine is not by subscription, for me, that churn is like keeping people there. So that's a risk whenever you have a network, the churn. And there's always a certain amount of it, but you want to minimize that churn.
That was a great one, Dr. Tachi. That was a good one. Y'all know I'm gonna keep y'all from repeating after other people from now on, because see, you come up with good stuff when you're not just repeating after other people. I love that. So Heather, in your business as an entrepreneur, what is an example of risk?
trusting others to do what I do.
Ooh, y'all hitting it this morning. Y'all hitting it. Y'all hitting it. I get it. All right. Dr. Toya, we're gonna come back to you to see if you're available.
Yes. I think liability. I have the risk of people. We live in a very litigious society, and all of the ways that they can say you did something, or because of what you said or how you did it, then now they're in this situation. So that is one that I am constantly kind of actually turns into fear, right? But the top of it is risk, or that liability aspect.
You know, I thought about you over the weekend when I was doing something on Dr. Joffrey's Tic Tac. Look how old, see? About to turn 53, turning into my grandma already. Tic Tac, get on that. Tell me about that Tic Tac? TikTok. He's starting to get into more what could be perceived as medical advice. So I thought about you. I was like, let's go and get this disclaimer that we need to now go back and put on every video that this is for educational purposes. So yeah, you are correct, but there's only so much we can do. We can put out there what we intend and just make it a part of our routine and our process to do so. And that's really kind of all we can do. But that's why, it is recommended by professionals that we have, the business insurance to help us against some stuff like that. So, maybe we just tighten up on our business insurance, Dr. Toya, to help with that just a little bit. So let's go to Kimberly. She put in the chat time management because it encompasses all of the above. So that's her risk. Going back to the YouTube live, Glow said an example of risk, I think for me, if I stop promoting myself and people won't see me anymore. Yeah, because see, she has a podcast, y'all. But also she does locks. And so y'all know we be trying to get her to pick a business because she also sells t-shirts and, watches out a coat and all kind of stuff. So yes. Thank you, Glow, for that. All right. So this is the thing, right? Y'all did pretty good because most of the things that you have identified as risk could be risk on your level, right? And not just a fear. But I have a list for you because, again, most of the time, there is not great reward without risk. okay? Because even some of the things that we are labeling risk still at some level could be fear, because you really have to say, what do you have to lose exactly? Like, are you gonna die? Like, you know what I'm saying? What they say in what was that movie? Hangover, you know, did you die? You know what I'm saying? You probably know. But if you take a risk sometimes, the reward is well worth the risk, right? Now, I'm going to also tell you, when it comes to mindset, most of the things we're going to do, we don't know what's on the other side of the action because we've never been here before. But that doesn't mean we don't take the action. You see what I'm saying? Because even if you don't get the reward that you think you should get, you're always going to learn how not to do it and how to do it better the next time. So if we can just change our mindset to how risk averse we are, we can have more success in our business. Now, what I want to go through is a list of things that seem like it can be a risk, right? But there's great reward on the other side. Okay, because some of it is fear-based, some of it is really, we don't have this to lose, you know what I'm saying? But I want you to think about you and your business, and this is going to be a come off the mic on this list of 10 things. I want you to tell me one of these things that if you took the risk to do, you see the reward for your particular business, okay? Number one, charging higher prices, okay? When I tell you raising prices is almost up there with public speaking for some of our entrepreneurs, you are so afraid to raise your prices. Now, if you were a part of our Clarity Clinic, and you got the success kit, one of the things that I included in there was, I think, like about 21 considerations to help you to raise your prices. Because most of the time, okay, the clarity of the things we need, we can't get because we don't have the resources to get it, and the resources lie in your pricing, okay? If you need more tech, if you need more people, if you need to run all these things, if you raise your prices, it probably won't be such a risk because you can afford to do it, all right? So that was number one. Number two, focusing on a niche market. God dog it, sell one thing first, okay? Sell one thing for one person that solves one problem so that you are the one solution, so that you become known for it, so that you can get momentum, okay? But so many solopreneurs are so afraid to niche down because the mindset is, if I niche down, I'm leaving money on the table. But that is not even how you buy. You have convinced yourself of this as a solopreneur, that I'm leaving money on the table if I niche down. But if you don't niche down, it's when you're actually leaving the money on the table. Think about your own buying habits, right? And think about different industries. We have things like dry bar, where you come and get your hair cut. They're not washing your hair. You know what I'm saying? They cut and style it, but they're not watching. Let's think about super cuts. They also may or may not wash your hair, but you come there for a cut. You can come in with dry hair, get it cut, and leave, okay? I want you to think about these super niche things and how people are popularizing them and monetizing them. You can do the same, all right? Number three, investing in, as in taking actual resources and money and investing in marketing and advertising, okay? Spending money on marketing and advertising feels like a financial gamble. However, when you are clear and you have well-targeted campaigns, they can lead to exponential growth, okay? That's why I thought it was so important to do this Clarity Clinic this month, okay? Number four, outsourcing and hiring help. A few of you have talked about that, right? Letting go of control by delegating tasks can feel risky, right? It feels like it's not worth the investment. But if you hang in there, if you create processes, if you come back and co-own and co-create with the person that you've hired, it can allow you to focus on higher level business stuff so that your business actually grows, okay? Number five, public speaking, networking, and all of that, going live, that stuff that Shawana, Ken and me can help you with your confidence and going live and creating video content and all that stuff like that. Putting yourself out there can feel uncomfortable, but the connections, the opportunities that you gain can elevate your brand and open doors to collaborations and clients, okay? Number six, launching a new product or service. I'm going to say your first product or service, or your main one, right? Because we're down to having one main offer and launching that one main offer, and sometimes even relaunching it, because some of y'all has had a product or an offer for years, but because you don't talk about it, was it a launch? I mean, did you ever launch it? Because just because it's been your offer for a while don't mean it's ever been launched, right? So take the fear out of it, because it's not going to resonate with the people that you're trying to sell it to. If you're scared and trying to sell it and launch it, then they're going to be scared to buy it. So we cannot step out here haphazardly, giving people the opportunity for our offer, because if we scared, they're scared. Okay? So you can't be scared. You're going to have to be confident. Because when you don't seem confident, it seems like, well, I shouldn't be confident in giving you my money because I'm not confident I'm going to get what I'm paying for. Okay? Number 7, building a personal brand. Making yourself the face of your business, it feels vulnerable, right? And some of y'all even talk yourselves out of it because you like, I just want to hide behind the business name. People don't even need to know that I own the business for it to be successful, but you're leaving off things that can help your brand, right? Because people do business with other people. And people trust people more than they trust organizations and companies. Why do you think big companies, when you don't know who the owner is, they have a spokesperson? They have a mascot of sorts, okay? Because it helps build trust. It helps build recognition, and it helps build a loyal following if they can directly associate it with a person or a persona, okay? Number 8, committing a bigger investment in tools and software, okay? Again, as you grow, you're going to need better tools. When you out here bootstrapping with these free tools and stuff, yeah, I don't necessarily want to give you a high ticket investment and you're not even investing in your own business. I had a lady who had the free version of Zoom. And let me tell you how I'm going to be irritated if every 45 minutes I got to log out and log back in because your ass don't want to pay for Zoom. If you don't want to pay for Zoom, I don't want to pay for you. Okay? So everything that you do can't be out here bootstrapping and be the free version. Let me just tell you, it cannot. I'm just saying. Because that's the first thing y'all want to do. When you finally do get the confidence to raise your price, you want to charge $5,000. But I gotta get off your Zoom in 45 minutes. That's not, come on now. Come on, y'all. I'm just saying. All right. The next one, number 9. Collaborating with big businesses. I'm sorry, not big, other businesses. Collaborating with other businesses feels like a risk, okay? Fear of losing control, fear of not being aligned, fear of somebody stealing from you, fear of that's my competition. They're gonna get my trade secrets type of thing. But strategic partnerships can expand your audience and bring in new opportunities. Let me tell you what people pay big bucks for. That's a no-brainer. When you have more than one expert working on their stuff, they understand they have to pay for the value of more than one expert, right? When you collaborate, y'all both don't have to do the same things. Pick which part of the overall transformation you're going to be responsible for. And another thing is, if you truly niched down, you could collaborate with somebody that is in your industry, but in a different niche than you, right? So in operations, as a fractional chief operating officer, that encompasses a lot of stuff. I'm already fractional, meaning I'm working with more than one CEO for a fraction of the time. I'm not trying to do everything operations in your business. I actually cannot. I know what I do. I manage, right? So you need somebody to come through and write all your SOPs. I have a collaborative partner for that is also in operations, right? Okay. You need somebody to come in and focus on your customer service. I collaborate with somebody for that. So because I know exactly what I do, I manage the day-to-day business over there on my fractional COO side. The people that need to come in and set things in place, I can collaborate with them because I have niched down over there. I know exactly what I'm doing. So I know exactly how I can partner with other people. When you niche down and leave room so that you can be, best in class at one part of it, then you leave other parts for other people to come in and collaborate with you, okay? Last but not least is number 10, pushing outside of comfort zones. Pushing outside of comfort zones. On the other side of your comfort zone is probably the exact result that you want, the exact achievement of a goal that you want, the exact next level you want to be on. So whether it's trying new marketing strategies, cold outreach, taking on a new leadership role, stepping out of your comfort zone can feel uncertain, but it leads to personal growth and business breakthroughs. So let me tell you how most of the time when we're sitting down and planning and we're trying to get clear, all of that is actually theory. Until we get out there and get out of our comfort zone and actually take actions, we don't have true clarity. We have the theory of clarity. But until you go test it with your people, until you go put it on the market, until you find out what's wrong and fix it, through your real clarity comes through action. So if you're just sitting over there planning and YouTubing and chat GPTing, but you don't ever take actions, you're actually not as clear as you think you are. Okay? So let me go back through these 10 without all the extra, all right? And I want to know which one of these that seems like a risk, but has reward on the other side of it, if you did it, you see being a great reward to your business, okay? Number 1, charging higher prices. Number 2, focusing on a niche market. Number 3, investing in marketing and advertising. Number 4, outsourcing for hiring help. Number 5, public speaking and networking. Number 6, launching a new product or service. We're just going to say your main product or service. Number 7, building a personal brand, coming out front, okay? Coming out front. Number 8, committing a bigger investment in tools and software. Number 9, collaborating with other businesses. And number 10, pushing outside of your comfort zone. Okay, so come off the mic and tell me which one of these that you know if you employ or deploy would be great reward for your business. Kimberly has already put it in the studio chat. She says she niches down, build a personal brand, and collaborate. You better come on with the trio. Come on. Anybody else want to tell me which one you know will give you great reward in your business if you were to go ahead and do it?
I think if I invested actual money in marketing and advertising instead of just doing organic stuff, which, you know, I do that anyway, but I think if I actually invested money, I think that would pay off.
I love that, Heather, because we start with our organic marketing as our trial and error to see what works. But once we know what works, it's time to put money behind what works, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I love that. I love that. Let's see what Glow talking about over here on YouTube Live. She said, that's me. I'm afraid to raise my prices because I'm scared of losing clients, but I have clients that show me my worth as well. Well, what we also know is the clients that refuse to pay the higher prices are usually the clients that are the worst clients anyway. So let them mugs drop off. Don't be afraid. Let them drop off. Dr. LaFera.
So I have a couple niche markets. I've been very kind of reluctant and
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what you said.
Girl, nobody heard you.
Talking to Mike, boo.
We
know you over at the hospital, but you participating. So speak to Mike.
Phone, okay.
Okay, you sound better. Go ahead.
All
now.
right, thank you. So I said niche market. So for me, I have not been, very open to just niching down for certain reasons. And then the other thing that I really could do better is I'm looking more at like strategic partnerships because now that I'm more comfortable saying who I help and who I don't really help as much, now I can go after better strategic partnerships and kind of get further because I'm comfortable doing all that other stuff. I've done all that other stuff. So
okay, cool beans. I love it. Collaboration. Anybody else want to come off the mic and give me one of the 10 that you know if you go ahead and take the perceived risk, there will be great reward? Keith
I
said,
think
going live. Do it, Keith. Do it. All right, Dr. Toya.
for me, it is the two things. It's building the personal brand and then putting like real money behind the advertising. I do it a little bit, but I like need to just go full. I need to commit fully to it.
So I was gonna say, I was like, you getting into it, you know, you used to hide behind the chi, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But you
yeah,
coming on out. So I love that for you.
yeah,
I'm loving the podcast. I'm loving that every time I go on YouTube to upload one of my videos, I already see one of your videos. So you're doing it. But what it lets me know is you've probably hit a threshold of being comfortable and content where you are, and it's probably time to push the limits again. So yes, great
yes,
reward is on the other side of you coming out of that comfort zone even more and pushing more limits.
yes. I was telling somebody the other day, it's like, you know how someone gives you advice in the beginning and you don't listen? And so now here we are 4 or 5 years later, where in the beginning people were like, no, you need to be the brand, you need to be the face. And there was fear. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And so trying to push the business, but then realize all of the limitations that created. And so, yeah, the desire to make more money and help more people made me overcome the fear of being the face. So I'm trying to lean into it.
Cool beans. I love it. I love it. All right. Anybody else want to come off the mic and talk about something? Shawana Kennedy Media, we know you ain't scared of a lot of things, but what is one thing that you, as somebody who ain't never scared, see as kind of risky, but you see where there could be a reward on the other side of that?
Well, it's not that I never get nervous over here. It's not that at all. It's just actually, but I seriously, guys, I promote though doing it with your knees shaking and your teeth chattering. That's the difference. Because I know no risk, no reward. And I do believe if people don't know you, they don't know you. It is leaning more into the financial side of, because here is the thing, Shay, you talk about it all the time. For example, if I was to push more monies into even what I'm currently doing right now, we then have to, in other lessons, have to be ready when the people come. So that's another thought. So it's not a fear, it's then gearing up for that. Because if I was to push, I already know if I pushed more money into what I currently do today, I would get more phone calls. But then I'm thinking about what does that look like on the back end, because I pride myself in operating in excellence to my ability. And so I have to be prepared for that. So that's what I'm doing right now. So even though I know that's coming, I'm doing the prep work right now. So that's not the nervous or scared part. It's just in understanding that risk of, I don't want to risk. I do not want to risk the brand's reputation, because I don't want to get the flood of people and then can't handle that flood of people.
Understood. Anybody else?
You know what I'm realizing? A lot of these make sense whenever you do something else first. Like a lot of these are not standalone. So like, for instance, what I recognize is that whenever in the past, whenever I invested in marketing and advertising, it didn't work for me. And I thought it was because I didn't do it correctly. I'm throwing all this money into marketing and advertising and it didn't work. And I'm like, oh, I need to learn how to do it. That might be true, but it didn't work for me because I didn't have clarity. I didn't focus on my niche market. So first, I have to know who my target niche is before I invest. You know what I mean? I have to know who I'm targeting so I know who to market to.
Yes.
And then, like, for instance, public speaking, I want to be able to collaborate with other businesses whenever I do public speaking. You know what I mean? Like, one will work better whenever you partner it with something else. You see what I'm saying? Like, even you know, whenever you're collaborating with other businesses, that might push you outside of your comfort zone, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be able to choose one but that one will work better, or it'll have more of an impact if you partner with one or two of the other ones. Does that make sense?
It does. What I know for sure is that when it's a mindset thing, or if it's a fear, it actually doesn't matter how many things support you being successful. You're going to change your mindset about it, right? And so what I have found is if we can get more familiar with it, if we can educate ourselves more, if we can have more options on how to do it, it tends to ease it, right? And so that's why I'm giving y'all this ChatGPT prompt, right? So of course you got to teach it about your business. So you go first insert your elevator pitch. And then you say, I'm afraid to insert the action that you're afraid to do, right? But see great reward in doing it. Give me an action plan that takes the risk out of it for me. This starts the conversation, right? So the output, you're still going to give it more information about what works about that output, what doesn't work about the output, what more work, you know, do you need to take the risk out of it for you? But this prompt starts the conversation, okay? So that, because again, we as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs with a very small business, a very small team, we are really working in a vacuum. We're the only decision maker. A lot of us, even if you got business besties, you know, you're not actually conversating with them on a routine basis and bringing them everything like you're supposed to. So that it's not just you, right? I have business besties I've been meeting with for over 5 years. We meet Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I mean, even though we meet that frequently, there are still some things we don't always bring to the table that because we know each other well, we're like, wait a minute, I heard something now. We have to kind of pull it out of each other, right? So this actually starts the conversation and tries to put an action plan in place for you. Because at the end of the day, you have to confront what is your fear around it, right? So if I tell you jump into the pool and you like, but I can't swim. Okay, jump into the pool. What is your fear? I can't swim. My fear is I'm going to drown. But that's the 3 feet. And baby, you 5'3". So jump in the damn pool. You know what I'm saying? So some of it is an irrational fear, right? So we have to kind of break it down. Yes, you might be afraid to get in large bodies of water because you can't swim. But baby, if you can stand up and the water don't even come, you know, past your waist a lot, then you're not really in danger of drowning. So let's pick apart what would make you feel more. Do you need some wings? You need some floaties? You know what I'm saying? Do you need a life? Like, what do you need to do this thing? If you know something has great reward on the other side of it, we need to pick apart what is our fear about it? What are we deeming the risk? And let's overcome the risk, right? So, anybody have any questions about the first part of the blog, which is risk or not, is what I've named the first part of the blog. My goal today was to set the pace, right? We want to define what risk is. I want to bring up the fact that some of you have mindset limitations and fears where you have perceived risk where there really isn't any. Some of us, it's a real risk, but we need to tackle that risk and make it less of a risk and get it done anyway, because all of the growth, all of the revenue, all of the impact we want to have is on the other side of some of these things, okay? Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and spend your last dime and pick between gas and eating and this tech tool, but I will tell you, if you raise your prices, you probably can afford that tech tool. You see what I'm saying? So what about it? Once we break it down, it becomes achievable. Now, tomorrow, what we're going to talk about, don't worry about how the blog is not, I don't know what happened with that part of it. But tomorrow, what we're going to talk about, and because it's not right there, I got to go to, we're going to talk about the categories of risk on tomorrow, okay? In business, there are categories of risk, and we're going to kind of break them down tomorrow. Because basically at the end of the day, let me just tell you what all we're talking about this week, okay? Where did that document go again? Okay, so we're going to talk about categories tomorrow. Then we're going to talk about assessment on Wednesday, and then we're going to talk about levels on, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I think two of these were supposed to go together. Assessment and levels go together. Okay. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk about actions to take for risk. Okay. So I'm building it up. All right. Today, I just want you to know the difference between what's an actual risk and what is not. Okay. And even something that is a risk for you that you know is great reward on the other side of, how do we combat it being a risk? All right. So any questions before we get out of here? Risk or not a risk? Let me check back over here on YouTube. All right, Glow, you got that prompt over there? All right, guys, no problem. We'll be right back here tomorrow talking about the categories of risk. We're going to go deeper and deeper with risk management. It is actually one of the things that is an operational thing. That a lot of solopreneurs and entrepreneurs don't look at. And so we're looking at it this week because when I went through all the things we've talked about, we haven't talked a lot about risk management. I think at the beginning of the year, we talked about mitigating risk, but we haven't really talked about risk management because corporations have a whole risk management department. Right? That's how important it is. And so we don't have, we're not looking at it as an area of business that's important, but really our growth and probably all the things we dream of for our business is on the other side of some of that risk. All right. All right, guys, what you got, Debbie?
It's not related to this topic. Is that okay to ask you a question?
Yes.
So I was talking to my web developer yesterday, and he was saying that my numbers are down as far as the amount of time people spend on the website. And I'm trying to figure out why that is.
Okay.
So do you have any thoughts on what possibly could be the reason? There's traffic, but they're not spending time.
You know where they're spending time? I'm sorry. Sorry, popped up. Just do you know where they're spending time on your website? Like
he's looking into it. He's going to do a deeper dive into it.
So what I would ask is, see, because you just recently revamped your website, there was probably an influx of traffic to that website because there was something new to look at.
Okay.
Right? Now, if I go back to a website and there's nothing new to look at, am I going to keep spending time on there?
No, but I'm working on, I update it regularly. So I'm treating it as a live document now. So when I'm sending out my constant contacts and putting out my blogs, I will change the pages. I'll change the landing pages to address that. So I'm working on doing that.
Okay, but that was just the first part. Okay, the second part is if the traffic is working and people get there and they don't stay, then what they find is not what they want.
Okay.
So that might be coming in with clarity. Like, are you trying to talk to more than one person? And the person that you're trying to talk to is not the person that the traffic is bringing, then they're not interested in what's there. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you have to look at that. That's why we need one persona, you see what I'm saying? One main offer, because every time you come is for you. Every time you come, when you have that clarity.
Okay.
Now, when you're trying to do it for one person with the one product and the one problem and all of that, and they're still not staying, then what are you saying about it? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah. So that lets you know whatever you're doing to get them to come, that's working. But what's there when they get there is not working.
Okay.
Cool. Dr. Toya is reminding you about Microsoft Clarity. That is something free, y'all, that you can put on your website. It has a heat map and everything. I've demonstrated it for you before.
Yeah.
Where you can even see where people are looking, where they click off from, all of that. So good save, Dr. Toya, because you can definitely get a lot of insight from Microsoft Clarity.
Okay. All right. I will.
So it could tell you the exact copy, the exact pictures, or the exact page where they're clicking off.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Microsoft Clarity, y'all. Thank you for that, Dr. Toya. All right, guys. Well, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.